Welcome to the 13th annual Creating Connections Breakfast. It is so great to be here with you all today. It's been 2 years since we've been in a room together, and it is wonderful to see your beautiful faces, and thank you for getting up early this morning and in joining your scholarship recipients for our donors. And for scholarship recipients, thank you for getting up early and connecting with your donors. This is one of my favorite events of the year, and I'm so glad to see you all. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Kathy Mullins, and I'm proud to serve as the Vice President for College Advancement and the Executive Director of the GRCC Foundation. Thank you. Again, Ms. James is the president of my fan club, so thank you, Ms. James. This morning, we have 155 people in attendance. Thank you so much for all of you being here. And before we get started with the program, I'd like to recognize our GRCC Board of Trustee members that are here. If you could wave, along with any retired trustees. I'd also like to recognize our GRCC Foundation Board of Directors that are in attendance. If you could also wave. Thank you so much to both of these leaders. We also have some elected officials that are in the audience today. If you want to wave, and thank you for being here. We appreciate all that you do. I'd like to take a minute to thank Creative Dining for the breakfast this morning. And then also, we have some amazing music students here from GRCC. Please help me in thanking Cole, Brooke, Eliana, and Maxwell. And thank you to Dr. Libor Andres for being their professor. He's doing an amazing job. So this morning, we are very excited because in addition to all of the scholarship recipients that we have and donors that we have in attendance here, we have some GRCC, GRJC alums. If you're an alum of GRJC or GRCC, can you just wave? We also happen to have some distinguished alums in the audience. We have Mr. David Cope here. And we have this year's Distinguished Alum Award winner, Mr. Lloyd Weiner. The Distinguished Alumni Award is the highest award that we have at GRCC, and we are very happy to bestow that to Lloyd this year, and thank you so much for being here. So this morning you've had an opportunity to interact with our students, and I know that you've heard some amazing stories, and I know that you've had a wonderful time getting to know one another. The purpose of this breakfast is so that we can build some lifelong connections, and so I do hope that you're able to stay connected with your students and your donors, and this breakfast is truly a celebration of that bond. Together, we are making West Michigan a better place to work and live, and we are so glad to have each and every one of you here this morning as part of the GRCC family. So before we get started with the rest of the program, just a couple logistics. We understand that some of the students might need to step out to go to class, so please feel free to do that if you need to do that. We have parking passes available at the back. You can get those from Jenna or Mary at the back table. And now, if you need restrooms, restrooms are right outside the double doors there on your left. And it's now my distinct pleasure to introduce you all to Dr. Pink, the 10th president of GRCC.
Thank you, Dr. Mullins. Good morning. Good morning. You have to understand, we were last night able to celebrate with our Phi Theta Kappa inductees. We did that ceremony last night, and as I said to them, that induction ceremony to me has always been the sign that we're getting into what I call celebration season. And celebration season here at the college means that we are heading into next week, our commencement ceremony next Friday, 2 ceremonies next Friday in this very room. But that also means that between now and then, we'll have several other events that we are honoring students, that we are recognizing their achievements, recognizing them for many, many things. And so this is just another one of those things that we do to bring our students together to say congratulations, to say thank you, to say that you mean a lot to this GRCC family because you are a part of this GRCC family. But this also gives us opportunity to bring folks together with our students who are our donors. Those of you who give your dollars to help students be able to get to their next or their dreams or their future. You are such a big part of that. And it's so also a great thing this morning to see so many of our faculty who are here in support of students, and some of the faculty who are not only supporting their students, but also our donors themselves in helping out what we do here at this institution. So this is a special morning. It's an opportunity for us to come together and to think about, celebrate, and to be able to just, in many cases, meet the folks who are responsible for helping students get to their education. I want to say thank you to Dr. Mullins and her staff of the foundation. You understand when we have this kind of celebration, and as she mentioned, about 100, 150, 155 people here this morning, understand also this is a sample of somewhere around 700 to 800 students who are receiving scholarships through our GRCC Foundation. This foundation consecutively has been, I believe is the third year, is giving away over $1 million in scholarships to our students. So thank you so much. That's not an easy thing to do, friends. It's a community college, and so often community colleges are seen as, well, you guys just have to do your work, But to see the work that happens at this college, the work that happens in these doors, where we have foundation funds that go out to our students to help them in being able to secure their education, you don't see this at every community college around the country. And I'm very partial because I think we're in the best community college in the country, so naturally the best would do something like this. But that's about history. That's about what this college has done over 100 years. It's what it's done in this community. It's about the community. I love to call it the community's college because this is the institution that this community actually wraps its arms around, and we wouldn't be able to do it. We wouldn't be able to do all the things that you see. We wouldn't be able to have these type of celebrations of people who give their finances without a community that doesn't wrap its arms around its community college. Not every community college in this country has that. We do. It's because of the work that this college does. The people. It's not about me. It's about the people. It's about individuals who are sitting in this room right now, who give their time, effort, and finances to ensure that West Michigan is a thriving community and that Grand Rapids is a thriving city through its education of its people. And a community that cares about its community itself and cares about itself to the point where it gives toward its education, that I can assure you is a thriving community. So I encourage you, as you celebrate this morning, to not only celebrate each other and celebrate the occasion, but also just celebrate the fact of Grand Rapids Community College and the work that this institution does for the people of West Michigan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pink. The next segment of the program is one of my personal favorites, as we get the opportunity to highlight a scholarship and, more importantly, the donors that created the scholarship. Today, I am delighted to introduce you to Christina and Michael Roslonek. Christina graduated from GRJC in 1991 and was involved as a student employee on campus in the admissions office. Christina couldn't be here this morning, but her husband Michael is here. Christina and Michael are both great advocates for GRCC and the students that we serve. They established the Michael and Christina Roslonek Family Scholarship in 2014 in honor of the college's 100th anniversary. We also have with us today their scholarship recipient, Yesenia Santana Perez. Thank you all for being here. I now ask you to turn your attention to the screen and hear a little bit more from Michael and Christina about their scholarship.
Grand Rapids Community College has a very, very special place in my heart. When I think back to my entire college experience, including transferring to a 4-year university, my fondest memories are held right here at Grand Rapids Community College.
Christina has an impromptu job, and that is whenever any human being tells them that they're going to the junior college, she goes absolutely spaz and gives them the biggest hug you've ever seen. So I've witnessed this with the beggar at the grocery store. The most dangerous time ever was a young man at the car wash, because I thought our windows were going to be down and God knows what would happen to our car and things. And so she is the most passionate ambassador for the community college, and the minute anyone says that, they get an impromptu hug and a lot of excitement from Christina Roslonek.
I think just from us both seeing just the impact that GRCC has with individuals, myself included, but with the community at large was really one of the main reasons why we wanted to create an endowed scholarship. And then for me personally, just with my awesome experience working as a student worker here, I was really passionate about having that scholarship be a designated gift to help specifically student workers.
I choose GRCC because it's the biggest community college in Michigan. So for me, starting a community college, my studies, it was like a good opportunity.
I chose GRCC because it was the most affordable place for me to attend with the field that I wanted to go into.
For us, taking a step back, we know how difficult it is to get your degree while you're working full-time, while you have family commitments and outside commitments and things. And so those that are stepping up to actually work while they're getting their education and doing that, it was very important for us to have a little maybe extra bonus for them as a scholarship tied to that. And so it made a lot of sense to both of us that we reward those students who are working extra hard to help the community college out.
Every money that is involved for your education is actually very important. So for me and my family, even like I was calling my family in the Dominican Republic, like, Mom, I got a scholarship. Like, it's meant a lot for me because coming from another country, obviously, is like somebody's putting that money for your education. It's actually like very important.
It helped me a lot when I was going through that last year of getting my degree because I was in the middle of the pandemic happened and the school wasn't open anymore. So my student worker job had gone away. CC was great enough to pay through the end of that year for all their student employees. But I also, didn't know what job I was gonna do. So to receive a scholarship was a total load off. And it made it so that I didn't have to take out any more student loans.
Because life is hard, and I think being a student here, I really saw that firsthand. I saw what my peers were having to face, and really those challenges are maybe a little bit different now, but they're still there. And a lot of our students here at GRCC, they're trying to juggle their education and a family, and when life happens, which it does, oftentimes it's their education that they drop because something's got to give. They're not going to drop your family because that's not really an option. And so that's why scholarships are so, so important. With a scholarship, they help kids stay in school. It really kind of creates that buffer or that cushion of financial support so that students don't have to make that choice between their education and their family when life is challenging.
Thank you to Christina and Michael. Michael, I have to say to you, I do think spaz is a word that is just not used enough. So thank you for reminding us of that awesome word. And Christina's absolutely right. Life is hard. And that is why we do the work that we do in the foundation for our students, because we know, we hear stories every day about students that have to work 2, sometimes 3 jobs. They have families at home, whether it's their own children or whether it's parents or brothers and sisters living at the house. And scholarships make a huge difference. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And now for my other favorite part of this program. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to our first scholarship recipient speaker this morning. Her name is Mrs. Fabiola Esparza. Fabiola is the recipient of the Hannock Teachers of Tomorrow Scholarship and Weggy's Teachers of Tomorrow Scholarship. Fabiola, would you please come up?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for being here this morning. I am a proud GRCC Foundation Scholarship recipient, and I would like to share a little bit about myself. My name is Fabiola Carrillo Esparza. I am a mother of 2 beautiful kids, Josiah, who is 8 years old, and Elena, who is 5. 11 years ago, I married my loving husband, Sergio, who is here with me this morning. I am very blessed to have been a recipient of the John Hannock and Weggy Teachers of Tomorrow Scholarship. I am proud to say that I am 1 week away from graduation. Thank you. And it would have not been possible without the help of people with big hearts like yours. I am beyond excited to be so close. These past 3 years have been full of sacrifices, but after being informed that I was selected to receive the GRCC Delta Phi of Honor, I was able to see that all that hard work paid off. As I sat down to reflect, I thought back to the time I graduated from high school, which was in 2007. I remember hearing my classmates and friends talk about their next chapter in life attending college. For me, it was different. The circumstances didn't allow me to continue school back then. I came with my parents and my brother when I was 11 years old to the U.S. as a tourist visitor from Mexico. My parents did not come to the U.S. with a plan to stay, but God had a different plan for us. Soon after, our visas expired, and we became illegal immigrants. I will say that who I am now has been shaped by my life experiences. I witnessed the worry, stress, and sleepless nights of my parents. Being unsure of what the future was as illegal immigrants here in the U.S. My father worked very hard to provide for us by picking blueberries, apples, and cherries, depending on the season for some years in the winter. And then he worked for an agency that did not check for immigration status. Thank God there was always food at our table. It might have not been the most appetizing when you looked at it, lentils, beans, and rice, but our bellies would never go hungry. Our winter boots for a time were plastic bags. Our jackets were small for his size. Language barriers, and other things. And these are just some of the challenges that we endured. But I remembered God would always put someone in our path who would be so generous to provide some of the material things that my parents wished to provide but couldn't afford. When I graduated, my parents wanted to support me financially so that I could attend college right after high school. But unfortunately, they did not have the financial availability to do so. I remember talking to a counselor about FAFSA, but I was told my immigration status made me unqualified. Soon after high school graduation, I got a job as a flower bouquet maker to help relieve some of the burdens my family had financially. I was able to help pay for groceries and gas, and meet my personal needs. But what I earned at that time was not enough for me to pay for my own tuition. In 2010, I married my better half, Sergio. God blessed us with a family, and it wasn't until I had my first child that I had the urge to do more to provide a better future for him. Thankfully, DACA was approved in 2012. DACA is a policy that helps young people known as dreamers, allowing to obtain a work permit. Soon after it was approved, I applied, and thankfully I got my work permit. I obtained a job at Interpreter Network as an interpreter and office scheduler, where I worked for several years. In the meantime, we came across Justice for Our Neighbors, an organization that helps low-income families in West Michigan with legal services. I was the last to obtain my permanent residency, a process that took close to a year. Then my daughter was born, so I took some time off work so I could spend time with her and my son, who was 2.5 at that time. After spending some months with my kids and considering our financial stability at that time, I said the need to go back to work. Started working at Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative, a nonprofit organization that provides high-quality education to young children in vulnerable areas of West Michigan. After a year working with children, I learned that it was my passion. I remember being told that there was an opportunity for me to apply for a scholarship called TEACH. I did not hesitate and I applied. I was blessed to start school in fall of 2019. I will admit that these past 3 years have been hard. Being a wife, a mother of 2 young children, and working a part-time was very difficult. I meant going to sleep past midnight in order to spend some of the time with my children after work and then do homework. I was exhausted all the time, stressed, and at times I felt like giving up. Thankfully, I became aware of different scholarships that I could apply through the GRCC Foundation. And during this school year, being a scholarship recipient of the John Hannock and Waggy Teachers of Tomorrow allowed me to attend school as a full-time student. Now, I am beyond excited to be a week from graduation. I will be doing my internship this summer, God willing, and I hope that in the fall, I can start doing what I love to do, work with children. Although my life path may have been different from my classmates in school, I don't regret any part of it. It sure was challenging, but it was rewarding at the same time. I am thankful to God first because I know that without His blessings, I would not have been here today. I am thankful to all the GRCC staff when one way or another helped me along the way. I will forever be thankful to my supportive husband who encouraged me every step of the way and who would stay up with me when I was doing homeworks so that I would not feel lonely. I am grateful for my parents, especially my mother. Although they could not help me financially like they wanted to, I always had the moral support from them. My mother always offered to care for my children when I needed time to study. And last but not least, I want to thank the donors of Grand Rapids Community College Foundation who have faith in us to support our education. I want you to know that it was a big blessing for me, and I am sure it has been and will continue to be for many others. One day, I hope to continue this legacy and be able to give back to my community. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.
And that is why scholarships are important. Everyone has a story. We never know what that story is, but we do know that with scholarships, we are able to remove barriers for our students. And we also know, as Fabiola indicated, she was able to stop going part-time and go full-time because she had a scholarship. Scholarships make an important difference in our students. 85% of all of our scholarship recipients either persist, meaning that they continue consecutively each semester, they transfer, or they graduate. That's a huge percentage of students. Students that do not, we know that students that do not get scholarships, that rate goes down to 61%. So every scholarship makes a difference, and thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. You are inspirational to everyone as a mother, as a human being, and as a student. Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce our next student speaker, Mr. Corey Wright. Corey is the scholarship recipient of the Ronald J. Bolema Scholarship. Corey, can you please come on up?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry. I am one of many students at GRCC that have received a scholarship that will help to further our education. I have received the Ronald J. Bolema Scholarship, and I'm very grateful. I want to express my thanks to all the donors here and not able to be here today. You have been helping students like me at GRCC to continue our education, which makes this scholarship very special to me. I am also here to share my story about how I got here and where I plan to go in the nearby future. At first, I was not sure about speaking here today because I have never spoken in front of a large audience before, but I had to seize this opportunity. By coming here today, I have already proven to myself that I can accomplish anything if I put my mind to it. For example, speaking in front of an audience. Keeping that mentality is going to be difficult but necessary to overcome any obstacle that stands in my way. With that being said, my name is Corey Wright. I am a student at GRCC majoring in mathematics, and I'm transferring to Grand Valley State University to continue my education in physics this fall. I will receive my Bachelor's of Science once I receive my Bachelor's of Science at GVSU, I plan to continue my education at MSU, Michigan State University, for graduate school, with hopes to receive a PhD in astrophysics. Once finished with graduate school, I want to use my knowledge that I will have gained throughout my years at school to give back to the community. I hope to accomplish this goal by becoming a professor that will be able to convey the materials of science in a way that will be easy for anyone to understand. Getting that far in my career is going to be difficult academically and financially. Difficult academically because, let's be honest here, majoring in anything STEM related is going to be a hard task. Difficult financially because college has always been expensive, especially with the ever so rising tuition cost. My childhood was tough, financially, academically, and socially. I grew up with a single mom, 3 sisters, 3 brothers, and myself being the oldest male. We constantly moved houses and states to try to find a place where we could fit in and settle. We struggled to make that happen due to being a family of 8 living on a single income. We would barely scrape by throughout the year, which caused me to focus on helping my family rather than focusing on school. This caused me to suffer academically growing up, along with causing me not to take school very seriously, which I fully regret. Moving repeatedly, then having to start over every year caused me to isolate myself at school. I would have considered myself a loner. Somehow, I was fortunate enough to find friends along the way that has made my journey more enjoyable despite my childhood struggles. Growing up, I always participated in after-school activities. For instance, I joined a robotics club because the idea of creation with electronics has always caught my attention. I would also join the after-school programs because the staff could always find a way to make learning exciting and fun. With problem-solving being a key factor to STEM, I believe growing up in a household that had always faced problems paved the way for me to wanting to major in STEM. After graduating from Ottawa Hills High School, I attended Arizona State University fall of 2018. I had spent most of my early high school career at Cesar Chavez High School in Arizona. While attending high school in Arizona, I applied to ASU and was accepted. At that time, I had no idea what I wanted to major in, but I did know that I was interested in STEM. For my first year of college, I decided to follow in my dad's footsteps, which was majoring in electrical engineering. Prior to this, I had no clue what electrical engineering even was, so you can only imagine what happened once I started classes that fall. It was terrible. I failed 5 of my classes that year, not because I could not learn a material, but because I got caught up in the wrong group of friends. Along with failing 5 of my classes that year, I also had a past due balance of $12,000 on my student account. Combining the wrong group of people, along with bad grades and a past due balance, caused more harm to me than I could have ever imagined by the end of the school year. When I returned home to Grand Rapids that summer, I was a wreck, feeling depressed and mad at the world. I felt like I failed my family and everyone that had been counting on me to value my time at ASU, which I took for granted. I had started to think that I could not major in anything STEM related because I was not smart enough, losing all the hope I had ever had of becoming the best man that I can be not just for myself, but for my family too. Thankfully, I have family behind me throughout my depression that helped me back to my normal state of mind. After a year had passed since I attended ASU, I had decided to give college another try, telling myself that I should go for something that had always been at the back of my mind, which was astronomy. I did not always want to go into astrophysics, even though I was always curious about the universe. The idea of space always blows my mind. In the fall of 2020, I decided to attend GRCC, not only because the campus was nearby, but because GRCC provides a quality and affordable education. Attending GRCC throughout the years has turned out to be one of the best decisions that I have ever made. This college has shaped me into a better thinker than any college could have ever done. The faculty and staff are friendly and supportive of everyone's needs, which can make everyone feel like they're at home. Speaking of home at school, I practically lived at the tutoring center at GRCC. The tutoring center was both a support and mentor group for me throughout my final year at GRCC. I could have not made it this far without them, so I would like to take this moment to say thanks to all of them. This is my final semester at GRCC. I will be graduating next week with my associates, and I am very proud of myself for doing so. Thank you. I am very proud of myself for persevering through these last couple of years. I can only hope that my time at GVSU can go as smoothly as it has gone here. This year has been academically challenging for me because I had to take multiple calculus and physics courses. The material was tough, but keen to understanding the fundamentals as to how we understand the universe. I enjoyed these courses so much that I had considered majoring in physics while wanting to major in astronomy. About a year ago, I decided to major in astrophysics because I had come to find out that physics is describing the natural universe while astronomy is observing it. I love this combination, so I love astrophysics. By receiving this scholarship, it has helped me to remember that there are other people out there watching and rooting for me to make it through college. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the donors here today. It is my hope that one day I too can give back. Thank you.
No public speaking experience. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Corey. You are an amazing example of perseverance and the fact that even when we fail, we have the opportunity to rise again and succeed. And you will be phenomenally successful. Astrophysics, a word I've never even thought of. And you're going to be that. So we are very excited, and we thank you for being part of GRCC. Wow, it's been quite a morning. Life is hard, and that's what our students have shared with us this morning. That's what our donors have shared with us around why they give to GRCC in support of scholarships. And I just want to say to our donors here today, to the faculty that are here, to the staff that are here, thank you so much for the love and gratitude that you show our students. It is important. It does make a difference. We've heard from 2 students today that will be extremely successful. They'll be leaders in our community and leaders in the world, and that couldn't have happened without you. So thank you so much for that support. Students, soon you will be alum of GRCC, and many of you are graduating next week, just like Corey and Fabiola, and we are so proud of you. We want you to remember your time here at GRCC, and we want you to think about the fact that just take a moment to reflect. You started this journey, many of you, at the beginning or in the middle of the pandemic. You finished. You did that in ways that no one in the world thought could happen. No one thought we could flip and go virtually, online, 100%. You were successful. You should be proud of that and really understand that what you've done is wonderful. And you have something, you have a degree that no one can ever take from you. So thank you so much for persevering. Thank you so much for representing GRCC so well. And know that we are extremely proud of you. We hope that you look back on your time at GRCC and remember it fondly. And we hope that you think about helping students the way you were helped in your time here at GRCC and give to scholarships. For our donors that are here, again, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Nothing is more important to our students than removing barriers so that they can be successful, and you have done that. So thank you so much. That's the end of our program today. In front of you, you have a wonderful cookie. Those cookies are created and provided to GRCC, to us this morning, by a GRCC alum, Donna Owen. Donna owns Decadent Desserts, so feel free to visit Donna as often as you like. Desserts are a good thing. No matter what anyone tells you, desserts are a good thing. So make sure that you do that. And as you exit, if you parked in a ramp and need a parking pass, you can get that from Jenna or Mary Reed at the back table where you checked in and got your name tag. And thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for supporting the GRCC Foundation and supporting the students that we serve. We appreciate you very much, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year. Stay safe and healthy.